It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. The heart of Massachusetts should be freedom, justice, and liberty. Freedom led pilgrims to Plymouth Bay. Salem trials had justice too late. The sons of liberty spilled the tea, and then the redcoats spilled their blood. The shot heard around the world rang out from the Bay State. Boston strong and ready to defend. It's where revolution started and ends. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. Quincy Market, Freedom Trail, Charles River, Boston Harbor, Bunker Hill, Griffin's Wharf, Fenway Park, Omar Charge. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day.
We're honored to have him on the program tonight. If you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class tonight, I'm going to read them after the interview, after we're done with him. Because I do have some stuff to say after the interview too, because I got to talk about my trip to Cape Cod yesterday. Higgins yelled at me yesterday. I swear to God, Higgins swore at me. It was my first time ever seeing Higgins in person. And the only thing he said to me was, "Get the fuck out of here." That's all. And he chased me down the street. I was a passenger in a car and he yelled at me. Well, I'll tell you the whole story yesterday. It's crazy. So we'll talk about that. If you guys want to have your messages read after the show, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. You can pay whatever you want, say whatever you want. I'll read it out loud to the class. Just keep it somewhat brief, no centigraphs, please. Or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy, and we can do it that way. So, let's just get this party started. So we have here, we got Alan Jackson backstage. We're going to bring him up now. There we go. Let's do it. Hello, Mr. Jackson. How are you?
What's up, Slick?
That's what I should call you. I feel like, thank you for coming to my program.
Long time no talk to. I don't even know what to call you. You know what, that crowd behind you, I got to tell you, that crowd behind you, I've got a new name.
Yeah. What's that?
It sticks. We got Crash Daddies. We've got Data Daddies. You're the Crowd Daddy.
The Crowd Daddy. I like it.
You are the Crowd Daddy. That crowd behind you is because of you, in no small part, because of you. So thank you for everything you've done for the Free Care and Read movement. It's been amazing.
Well, I was honestly happy to do it. It's like one of my proudest life accomplishments. It started one day on April 17th, 2023, when I was sent this tip from a guy by the name of Brian Johnson, a former Duxbury cop who trained John on the job in Duxbury. And as a former LEO guy, he said, something's not right about this.
That's how it started.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Literally never heard of Karen Reed before that.
He'd never heard of Karen. We both heard about it when John was killed. The police officer gets killed around it. It's kind of big news.
Sure.
But then, honestly, I've said this before, when a cop gets killed, I usually have an interest in the story because it's always the same story. It's like some guy with 125 priors who never should have been released in the first place,
Sure.
And there was a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. That's how Michael Chestnut died. Many other police officers around here. It's always the same story. So when I saw John O'Keefe was killed by his ex-girlfriend, I'm like, okay, what do we have here? Is it do we have a crazy ex? Does she have priors? I looked her up. There was not, she was just honestly a boring, financial analyst from Fidelity. And it just seemed like this horrible accident. And I had no take on it because I'm like, what am I going to say? It's horrible for her. It's horrible for him. It's horrible for everyone. I'm like, it's just a depressing story. I don't even want to write about this. And I forgot about it. And then Brian Johnson sends me this, and I take him more seriously because he's former LEO and, he's less likely to take the position that the cops are the bad guys. Right. And that's what this is. There's
everybody
many
else
police
does
officers.
too. Yeah.
Right. And so
that's a tough pill to swallow.
Right, exactly. I mean, this was the most obvious frame job ever, and yet it was still an obstacle simply because we are predisposed to believe defendants are guilty, I think, and that cops can't, like, the people that we trust to look over us and enforce the law wouldn't possibly betray us like that. And that's what it is. It's a betrayal, isn't it?
Right. No, it's absolutely true. It's funny. You said a bunch in that opening, which is, Karen seemed like just a boring woman who's, getting along in her life and gets into this terrible, tragic accident, and her boyfriend ends up dying, etc. Except none of it is true. None of it. Not one goddamn word of it is true. Not one. And that's when the other side sort of shifts. That's when the narrative starts to actually take place, when we begin to build a defense. And it's not just a defense. We begin to build a truth about what the public actually thinks happened versus what truly happened. And it took 3.5 years to get that truth out. The justice system is it's like turning an aircraft carrier. Just doesn't happen overnight, right? You just can't step on the rudder and turn an aircraft carrier. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of work by a lot of people. And you were among those folks that helped turn this aircraft carrier around. The narrative that was so easy to swallow at the beginning became a jagged pill for a lot of folks who said, wait a minute, I remember when my relatives, my father, my brother, my sister might have ended up in Massachusetts State Police custody, and it never sat right with me. I mean, we have myriad communications with folks from around the country, specifically around Massachusetts, saying this, something never seemed right about XYZ, whatever fill in the blank, whatever that might be. To your point, like, you've been arrested, you've done a little time based on some complete chicken shit that never should have happened in the first place. So, there's a lot of folks with stories exactly like yours that have reached out to us from the very beginning, from day one, to say, what happened here? Why are we subjugated like this? Why do we have to suffer at under the jackboot of the Massachusetts State Police when they seem to be able to get away with anything and everything they want to? And the Karen Reed movement, the Free Karen Reed movement, was so much bigger than this 110-pound girl who got wrongfully accused. It is a bigger movement than that. I'm very proud to have been a part of it. I'm very honored to have been a part of it. I'm very honored to have led the defense team that sort of unveiled or pulled back the curtain to a larger problem. And my hope is, by the time that this thing is said and done, and we ain't done yet, by the way. We
really? What do you mean by that?
Well, some folks have said we ain't got no quit. There's a lot yet to be done to fix the problems that sort of germinated this issue. So stand by.
Is that something you're sticking around for? Are you still you're still technically, you haven't I don't know what the word is. You're still Karen's attorney.
I'll always be Karen's attorney from this day until the next. I'm always going to be Karen's attorney. I'm not going anywhere. So if there is when there is a next chapter to this, you can bet I'll be involved. Is
that something you can detail more? I know we talked about this before, and there's some stuff you're obviously not going to be able to touch.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things.
That's one of those things that I'd rather allow the system to, look, I was very circumspect about the times that I spoke publicly. It was very, very, very curated in terms of the statements that I made on the courthouse steps. It was very curated in terms of the statements that I made or Karen made in any interviews. Those were nothing was by chance, and nothing was happenstance. Nothing was sort of impulsive.
So when Karen Reed on May 3rd, the first time I ever attended a hearing, it was May 24th. I apologize. Blurted out suddenly that we know who did it, Steve. That came out of nowhere. She just started talking. Was that planned, or did she do that? Did she go rogue?
So Karen has never gone rogue in her life. So I'll revert back to the statement that I just made. Everything that Karen has done, everything we've done as a defense team has been highly curated for a reason. There's a reason why we've made every single move we've made. Our position was at the very beginning when Karen and I first started talking was we're going to allow the government to play checkers and we're going to play chess. So stand by. Nothing that Karen has ever said, or use the word blurted out. It sounded like she blurted it out, but the reality is nothing she's ever said has been a blurt or a mistake or impulsive. We've known what our theme and our theory and our methodology of getting the truth out was going to be from the jump, from the moment Karen and I started communicating.
So let's talk about the evolution of that. So David Yannetti is her attorney from February of 2022 alone until late September of 2022.
Till August.
Okay. And
y'all were introduced to me in September, September 25th, but I was Karen and I had begun our discussions in August.
Okay. And like me, the hook that got you was the arm picture. That was the one that stood out like, whoa,
100%.
whoa,
100%.
that's not a car didn't do that.
Yeah,
okay?
It's been widely reported, and that's absolutely 100% true. As soon as I got the email and she said, let me attach a photograph. This is what the Commonwealth is saying. I did with a taillight. I immediately said, I'm in.
So she sends you that, and you must get pitched with, potential clients all the time. And I'm sure everybody who contacts you is being framed. Everybody is the victim of corruption. Everybody's innocent, or not everybody, but a good amount. How do you weed out the yahoos and decide that Karen Reed's legitimate and you're going to take this? And am I right that you obviously don't take every case that comes in your inbox?
I don't. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. Our firm is fortunate. We do get a lot of calls, and there's a lot of calls that we want to take, but we can't. There's reasons why we can't. There may be financial reasons. There may be geographical reasons. I can't take a case in Alaska at this time because I'm trying another case at this time. Whatever. We do get a lot of calls. The thing that changed everything for me. And Liza, by the way, Liza has an office literally physically right next door to mine. Like we share a common wall. And I called her in with our very, very elegant intercom system. And it sounded a little bit like this. Liza, get your ass in here. Oh my God. I just screamed across the through the wall, and she walked in, and I told her about this email and this conversation that we were about to have. And it was probably about, I may be wrong on the time. Karen would probably be able to fix it. She has a better memory than I do, but it was about a 15-minute conversation. And I said, every hair that I have on the back of my neck stood straight up. And I was like, this is not right. This is not, everything that I'm seeing suggests something is desperately wrong with this prosecution. Mm-hmm. And look, I was only brought on as a very humbly, behind David as a consultant. I wasn't brought on as lead counsel, and that's my normal role. When I take a case, I usually walk in with that imprimatur as lead counsel, and I control the entire case. And that's just how I'm built, and I've earned that over decades of trying cases. But in this case, I was like, okay, I'll take a backroom role. And see what happens. Mm-hmm. As we began talking and we began discussing the case of geofence data and really technical cell phone data, which I was very good at the time, I started realizing there's a broader issue here. This isn't going to be a technical defense. This is going to be a full-throated, full-blown defense of an innocent woman. She did not do this. And if you want to call it, she was framed versus, which is what we really, postulated in the first trial, versus the data shows that there was no collision, which is what we postulated in the second trial. And you saw that. I mean, the beauty of sort of young law students watching this is they saw the transition between defenses. Both defenses were valid. By the way, I'm very proud of the fact that we acquitted her twice.
You did.
I said
24-0. 24-0.
Exactly.
Actually, by the way, we've heard from 6 of the. I've told by sources all 6 alternates also said not guilty.
Correct.
So no matter who you picked, there was
We've
gonna
heard
be a
from
not
them
guilty.
too. Yeah, exactly. No matter who you picked, it didn't matter. There was no fix. There was no in. Whatever.
Amazing.
Everybody that would have been on the jury would have acquitted her 100%.
Now let me ask you something. Was your change in strategy this time around affected at all by my interview with Ronnie? Because it seemed, not to toot my own horn here, but it seems like a lot of the things, like Ronnie it was painful listening to some of the things he said, right? But I had to ask him, and I had to like maintain my composure asking, even if he was driving me nuts. But I thought it was really important that the defense heard this. Did you watch that interview, and did it shape how you changed your strategy in the second trial?
I did watch the interview. We all watched it. I that was a sort of a must read, as you will, as you think about it. There wasn't one specific thing that Ronnie said that changed our mind. It was a sort of a panoply of, or a myriad information that was coming to us. Your interview was among the chief among them.
The car insurance question, you asked that one.
Absolutely. 100%. That came directly from your interview with Ronnie. Ronnie said, as you remember, obviously, you asked the question. Well, we thought that maybe her insurance company had some interest in hiring experts and doing such and such and so and so. And
that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense that a juror might reach that conclusion.
Look, they're not stupid. I mean, these are intelligent folks. And part of the issue that we had was perpetrating what we always considered, and what I always said from the beginning, is perpetrating a fraud on the jury. We are perpetrating a fraud on the jury. We are supposed to be in a system of truth. That's it. Full stop. That's the alpha and omega of a trial. Give me the truth. That's all I care about. Give me the truth, and I'll take my lumps, whatever that may be. But the Commonwealth has to take their lumps too. And Judge Cannoni very specifically was not going to allow us to tell the truth to the jury. The fact that she hid the feds from the jury, not once, 2 times, even after being slapped down by jurors, not slapped down by us. I mean, we were always respectful to her. The jurors said, once we found out that these were feds, why didn't you tell us that? That makes all the world a difference.
Yeah, it did.
We thought they might be insurance folks.
And what was her argument? Because it would have biased the jury, but doesn't all evidence bias a jury? Isn't that the point of evidence?
No, her argument was more along the lines of, you have my ruling.
Okay, because I said so.
Because I said
so. Yeah. Now, do you think, you've been doing this a long time, do you think she's one of the small percentage of judges who would not allow that to be mentioned? Or do you think if you had any other judge, do you think that judge would have done the same thing she did? Or do you think they would have allowed FBI to be mentioned? My
experience is that I think every other judge I've ever been in front of in my life, every other judge, and there are those probably number not in the hundreds, but in the thousands. Every other judge would allow that in.
Really? Every other judge? Wow.
Every other judge would allow that in. Every one of us on the defense team, in the first trial and the second, were gobsmacked that she would not allow in even a modicum of information. We can't go into what the investigation consists of. We didn't want to know who the investigators were. We didn't care if it was the DOJ or the FBI, whatever. Just to be able to say the federal government opened an investigation, and this is what they hired ARCA, and ARCA worked for and was commissioned by the federal government, and this is what they found. Period. That does not in any way, shape, form, or fashion prejudice the Commonwealth. It never would have, but the Commonwealth was so adamant that if that was known, it would allow such inherent credibility to be gleaned about ARCA. She wouldn't allow it to happen. She was never going to allow it to happen.
Do you feel like she was doing this because she's bad at her job, or do you think she just doesn't like you and Karen Reed? Because that was the vibe I got. I don't think she likes you. I don't think you're getting the Christmas
all of
card.
the above.
Okay. All the
Yeah,
above.
no, look, there was no question that from the beginning, I walked in. I had no, I didn't pick a bone with her. I mean, you saw Aidan from the moment I walked into trial on September 25th,
Mhm.
2022. I was respectful. I was cordial.
You were.
I was as dignified as an officer of the court could be. I asked for pro hoc vice. I was elegant in my arguments to her. Always respectful of the bench. Always respectful of the robe. That's how I'm built. That is how I'm built. She could not stand me from moment one. That's not how we do this in Massachusetts. I'll never forget. There was a moment. You remember the moment, Aidan, which got a lot of interest on the internet, when Liza, who literally walks around with a halo over her head, like she is angelic. She is the most respectful person on the planet. All she does is she analyzes the law. She analyzes the facts. She puts those two things together, and she provides motions and she provides arguments. She has no dog in any fight. She doesn't have the same sort of piss and vinegar that I have, which good for her. That's exactly the place that she finds her comfort zone in the practice of law. And when Judge Cannone said, "We stand up in Massachusetts," Miss Little, oh my! I was like,
when was that? When was that?
It was at the very beginning. Liza in California, by the way.
Oh, okay.
To our defense, we don't stand up when we address judges in California. It's not a disrespect thing. It's just an efficiency thing. Every time, standing up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, it just doesn't make efficient sense. And so, unless you're giving a closing argument to a jury, etc., you don't necessarily have to stand up at all.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, judges they don't allow, Mr. Jackson, you can remain seated. Let's just get these arguments done. Okay. So that's what Liza's used to. That's where she was born and bred here in California.
I wasn't there for that, but I was there for the chalks. She hated the chalks.
Oh yeah.
And there was one day.
Why do you think she hated the chalks?
Because she doesn't like attention.
Effective.
She doesn't like attention. She doesn't like media. She resented you because you were effective at getting the attention of the media. She hated that. Right. And she also resented you, I think, because who the fuck are you? Like, she's from Norfolk County. Like, this is her home. She's been here her whole life working. Who the fuck are you? You're not going to come in here. She had to remind you that this was her. You might have the flair and you might live in a nicer house than her and all the shit, but God damn it, this is her goddamn courtroom. And she's going to remind you of it whenever she can and just slap you down as much as she can. I think she took it out in your client because of that. And I think she took it out on David Yannetti, who I don't think she resented before you got involved.
I think you're right. I think she had a lot of respect for David, and David earned that respect. He should have the respect. He's a great lawyer. But I think the fact that I came in and she thought this was her opportunity to say, if I had a nickel for every time she said, that's not how we do it in Massachusetts. I mean, at the end of the day, I really don't give a shit how you do it in Massachusetts. I don't. I care about whether or not the Constitution, which, unless I'm mistaken, I know I read this somewhere, the Constitution governs all states, including the Commonwealth. Yeah. So I don't really give a shit if you don't do it this way in Massachusetts. The jury needs to see the face of the witness. Like, that was one of the big whoppers, right?
So let's talk about that. I think that backfired on you. Okay. Like, I agree with you that they should have been.
I disagree. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think being in that courtroom and having John's family look at that jury is the reason that there was a mistrial in the first trial. Like, that setup of them looking directly at the jury and Peggy crying and making faces is like, they went into that, like, we got to throw this woman a bone. We got to convict her or something. And I think that's why he had a mistrial, is the setup. Obviously you could I concede seeing the faces of the witnesses, very, very important. But like, she kind of, like, you guys were like, we got to fix this situation in here. And she's like, fuck it. Why don't we just go to this other room then?
Yeah, I don't disagree that she thought that was an advantage for her. I don't, Aidan. I think that she thought, okay, you broke it, you bought it, right? We're going to put you in a tiny little courtroom. I don't know that I agree. And look, it's all hyperbole at this point, right? I don't know that I agree necessarily that the jury in the first trial hung because, at least on the subordinate counts on count 2, because they were facing the O'Keefes. Look, the second jury was facing the O'Keefes as well, and there were just as many tears, and there was just as many eye rolls, and just as many, all the same shenanigans were happening.
Well, Paul had to move his seat.
Paul had to move his seat for another reason.
I'm aware of that. And
how'd you become aware of that?
Sources. I never reveal sources. I have sources, and I heard it's a couple, one or two jurors, maybe one.
By the way, I want to be clear because you and I are being coy. The source wasn't me.
It was not you. Well, there was a gag order on you. You couldn't say anything. If you wanted to.
By the way, I abided by that gag order.
You did
to the letter. To the letter.
Yeah. And I don't know how you guys did it coming out of the courtroom.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy. I like to talk.
Mind. Oh my God, that must have been hard. So let me ask you. So first question, we talked about addressing this earlier on. There's a lot of talk on the internet right now, and you and I spoke about this of like the defense team should distance themselves from Turtle Boy, right? That like that's they're playing it smart by not coming on his show. And then you called me and you were like, I want to come on. And why is that?
Because I didn't believe that bullshit. That we were, I know it's not true that we were trying to distance ourselves from Turtle Boy, from Aidan Kearney, from the magnificence of what you did, the crowd daddy, right? You created a lot of this, you generated a lot of this verve, and we appreciated it. We're deeply, deeply, deeply grateful. I talk to Karen every day. Every day I talk to her. I don't think that there's been a day since the verdict that I haven't spoken to her and or her family. And every single day she tells me how grateful she is to your viewers, to the folks that populated the streets and the sidewalks and wore pink and gave this beautiful "I love you" sign that has resonated through not just the Commonwealth's community, but through the nation and through around the globe. I mean, we've gotten, I'm sure you have too, we've gotten accolades and love and support from Australia and Ireland and China, all across the globe. That's in no small part because of folks like you. There's a element of a come down. She has to have that, right? She has to. There was no distancing of ourselves from you specifically, but she needed to come down, and she almost crashed a little bit. Have you ever had a situation where you've had an adrenaline, you're just pumped with adrenaline, and the after effect of the adrenaline is I just gotta come down. Now think about that. Normally the adrenaline is, you're about to have an argument with someone that you love or care about. You're in a bar and someone looks at you funny or what, and the adrenaline goes through the roof, and then you've got this come down, or it's an incredibly exciting event and you have this come down. Now multiply it.
Yeah.
Every single day of your life, every day, relentlessly, every day, with Tully and Buchanan and Proctor and Michael Morrissey and Lally and Brent. Every single day, you're dealing with people who believe they're being paid to destroy you. Now, expand that to 3.5 years. 3.5 years, every day, 365 days a year for 3.5 years, over 1,000 days of that. And then it's like, bam, it's just done. She won. It's over. It's over, Aidan. So the idea of Karen running around and doing every podcast or every interview, we were asked by everyone. I mean, everyone, you name it, we were asked, CNN and Fox News and Good Morning America and the Today Show, everybody asked. She just needed a minute. And I get it. I get it from her. I get it. My heart goes out to her. I don't know. I mean, I was in sort of the fire with her, but not really, because nobody can really understand what it's like. You know what it's like.
Yes.
To be accused. You know what it's like to be falsely accused, Aidan. Very few people do. So she needs a quiet time. And
I also know what it's like. Like when I first got out of jail, I was actually in a horrible place. Like I was happier in jail the last couple of days. I thought it would be the happiest time ever, but it was just so overwhelming when I got out, and there was so much to catch up on.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit. I was like shell shocked. I was like fucked up from it, you know?
Right.
And I've had some conversations with Karen, and it seems like she's going through some of that too. And it was almost like she didn't prepare for it. Like she hadn't, because you don't know what this is going to be like until it happens.
Yeah. How can you? How can you prepare for that? Like she knew she was innocent from, day one, from January 29th, 2022. She knew she didn't do this. But then it's a process of trying to build your defense, build your battalions, to be able to prove that, because we didn't make no mistake, Aidan. It's not that the Commonwealth didn't prove that she's guilty. We proved that she was innocent.
Mm-hmm.
We proved it. Think about the character and quality of the Commonwealth's experts, people that lied about their credentials, lied about their CVs, people who don't actually have degrees, people who do extensive testing and cost the taxpayers $400,000 or $500,000 just to put some paint on your arm, versus ARCA and the exquisite testing that they did, versus Matt DeSogra and the exquisite data analysis that he did. Think about who proved what. I will go to my grave saying it's not that they didn't prove their case. We proved her.
You can say it.
No,
I'm demonetized. Okay.
She proved her innocence. And that takes a titanium spine. That takes a gumption that rarely people have. People are usually very, very quick to say, look, I'll take my win and go home. She was never convinced that was the right thing to do. I'm going to prove my goddamn innocence day one. And it's never going to shift. It's never going to change. So coming down from that high, from that adrenaline, from that stress, because she knew she could lose. I think she just needed to surround herself with her inner circle, who's 5 or 6 or 7 people. I'm not even in that inner circle, but I know who the inner circle is, and I talk to her every day, and I understand what she's going through. I think she just needed a little quiet time, if that makes sense.
No, totally makes sense.
And she was never avoiding you, brother. She was never avoiding you.
Yeah, she returns my texts. We talk. You know Absolutely. What I mean? I have no, and I totally get it. I would never expect her to. Yeah. I don't like people like that who think that Karen Reed owes me nothing. I want to be perfectly clear. And I said that.
By the way, you've said that. And by the way, God bless you for that. God bless you for that. Because there was a lot of people out there who were suggesting that you had some ulterior motive, and you shut that down in a heartbeat. You're very eloquent. You're very heartfelt. God bless you for that statement. I saw it.
I love journal. I live for stories like this. This was the story of my life. I didn't do it because I was going to make a lot of money. I did it because it's an amazing story and one that needed to be told. And I'm so happy that I did it.
Your motivation will go down in history. It will.
I appreciate that. And, just from the beginning to the end of this and seeing how it's grown. So the first time I ever kind of communicated with you was on April 17th when I was introduced to a woman by the name of Natalie, and she was like kind of messaging. I didn't realize she was passing messages directly from Karen. And she was like, one of them was like from you. And it was like, AJ says that I can't wait to meet the reporter with the biggest balls in the country or some shit like that. And I'm like, I'm just writing a story here. And when I wrote that story, when I wrote
balls the size of church bells,
I think that's what it was. Yes, that was the thing. And I thought, like, when I wrote it, I'm like, well, that's the end. I mean, like, they're obviously going to drop this because I'm silly me. I think that we can trust institutions. And then instead they put their foot on the accelerator. And after that, suddenly microscopic pieces of taillight appeared in clothing and GPS data suddenly came around, and they just, all of this new tech stream data all of a sudden appeared. And it was like, how, like, that must have felt crazy that no matter what you guys put out there, they just came, they didn't consider it in an ethical sense. Like, does this mean she's innocent? They're like, well, how can we come up with a lie to explain this one?
Right. That was the sort of the Brennan effect. Look, he had a job to do, but that's shame on that. Shame on that. When you've got lives in your hands, You can't look at this. You can't hide behind the idea, oh, I'm just doing my job. I just got hired to do my job. No, you didn't. You get hired to dig a ditch or to trim a tree or to unclog a pipe. And by the way, God bless those folks that do that. I used to do that. I was in the military and I mopped floors. I mopped the best goddamn floors on the planet.
You're a decorated dude.
Ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I served in the military, but I never looked for accolades. There are others who have given their lives and given, life and limb, far broader than I have. All I'm saying is you can't just hide behind the idea if you're a Hank Brennan or even an Adam Lally or a Laura McLaughlin, by the way.
What do you think? Why are you saying that? Why are you saying?
Finish my point. I'll get to that. And say, well, I'm just doing a job. No, you're not doing a job. You're affecting a life. You're affecting many lives. You're affecting many lives. Look behind you in the view that you've got behind you right now. Those are the lives that you're affecting. Knock it off. Stop being a little wimp and acting like this is just a job and no big deal. I'm just going to go on to my next job. If that's the case, God help us in the judicial system. God help us. You have a broader responsibility, not just to do a job, do the right goddamn thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. I did when I was a prosecutor. Every single time I did the right thing. People have asked me as a prosecutor, oh, do you ever lament the idea that, you might have convicted an innocent person? No, I didn't. Because I did the right thing. I knew what the evidence was. I knew exactly what I was doing before I ever walked into a courtroom. I never, ever had to lose a wink of sleep with the idea that I got it wrong. How could these folks, the Laura McLaughlins and the Adam Lalleys and the Hank Brennans, ever sleep at night thinking they got this right?
So let me ask you that then. Do you think that Hank Brennan, Adam Lally, and Laura McLaughlin truly believe Karen Read did this?
You'd have to ask them, and of course.
But what do you think? What do you
They'll
think?
never tell. I have no idea. If in my mind, if they're real legal analysts, not a single one of them think that she did this. Not a single one of them. If they're real legal analysts, they're looking at the same evidence I'm looking at. As a matter of fact, I suspect they're probably looking at more evidence than I saw, which is unconstitutional. But
yes, it sounds like it.
Yeah, I have no reason to believe that they didn't have additional evidence that I never got, that I never saw, that I was never able to analyze. But, you're dealing with Buchanan and you're dealing with Tully and you're dealing with Proctor and these folks who are bent. They're just bent. Every one of them are bent. Mm-hmm. So could they go to sleep at night thinking to themselves after analyzing the same evidence that I analyzed and say, I think she hit him. Really? Really?
Do you think they would have slept well if Karen was convicted?
Oh, all of them. All of them.
You
like
think
a baby.
So?
But like a baby. Like a baby.
You don't think it would weigh on any of them? Like, really?
No, it's a mental disability. Like they will think of themselves as I'm just doing the job of the prosecutor. I put on the best case that I possibly could, and the jury convicted, and I'm going to sleep like a baby because it wasn't my decision. No, it is your decision. You need to own it, folks. And I don't think a single person in that courtroom was willing to do that. I don't think a single person in that courtroom has been taught the efficacy of owning your own decisions.
Really? Very interesting. So I wrote down some questions here that I have for you. And the first one that, first of all, big supporter. Okay. But I am going to bring one up here that I don't understand this one. Okay. When you cross-examined Lieutenant O'Hara, okay, and he said that the CERT team got there at 5:21 and they start digging and then they don't find anything. And then 3 unknown dudes show up. Canton police, he thinks, whatever. Right. And then taillight appears. How come it was never asked who found the taillight and why aren't they on the stand? To this day, we don't know which person in the CERT team found the taillight, correct? We don't know the name of them.
That's right. So that was, like I said, there's very little that's not by design. In that specific situation, he was willing to say, O'Hara, and I've got no beef with him. I honestly, I have no.
Yeah,
beef
I thought he was okay. I don't think he was corrupt.
He's a fine officer. No, he's a fine officer. Yeah. I call it like I see it. My sense was he probably didn't know because there's 8 guys walking a grid, and someone barks out, "Hey, come over here," or "Bring a flashlight," or such and such, whatever. I don't think he probably knew. And I wasn't willing to go down that rabbit hole and try to figure out who knew, because I didn't care. At that point, I didn't care. All I cared about was timing. I cared about the timing at which the first taillight piece was found, which was well after Proctor had that car in his custody and had access to 34 Fairview. And number 2, I cared about who actually recovered the pieces and who photographed them. And those were Tully. That's all I wanted the jurors to think about. I did not want to. Every word I say and every question I ask, jurors hang on, right? I'm a defense attorney, so they're like, "Oh, well, there must be a reason why you're asking that." Let's say I called into question one of the other CERT team officers, and I had all their names on the top of my head at the time. I could have just barked off, "Was it this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy?" Then the jurors are going to start thinking, well, wait, was he part of some weird thing that was in conjunction with Proctor and Tully and the others? And I didn't want to do that. So I thought it was a cleaner way to cross-examine, simply by saying, what was the time frame? It was after Proctor had the taillight in his possession, and you didn't pick it up. You never touched it. You never physically moved it.
O'Hara.
All told. O'Hara never.
Yeah, O'Hara, okay, yeah.
All
right,
he said was, "I see it over there. Detective Tully, you go take care of it. I'm going to continue searching." And that's all I cared about. And I thought that was, in my view, that was the most effective way to deal with the CERT team, which was relatively unassailable.
They were, yeah. I mean, that was the problem, is they sounded legit until those 3 unknown dudes showed up. And
right. And I get to say whoever those unknown dudes are that I want to. O'Hara was, he pushed a little further by saying in trial, which you heard, well, I recognize that none of them were Proctor. Right? Yeah.
He said they were Canton police. The way you said it, do you think one of them was Proctor?
He said one was Canton police and 2 were Massachusetts State Police, but he wasn't sure who they were, but they weren't Proctor.
Okay. Do you think Proctor was there?
Yep.
You do?
I do.
Oh.
That's just my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, the evidence is the evidence, but I think Proctor was there.
All right. And
at some point,
so
I don't think that he missed the opportunity to go to 34 Fairview.
So let's talk about the ghost of the Canton Police Sallyport. The guy that there's a 20-second gap there at 536 to 537. Some guy, footage disappears, and all of a sudden, some guy comes from where Proctor's standing and walks out. I think that was Ken Berkowitz. Who do you think that was?
If I had to guess, I think it was Ken Berkowitz.
Okay.
He was short in stature. Ken Berkowitz was short in stature. He just appeared out of nowhere. I have other information. We had other information which we propounded at trial, that Ken Berkowitz was in and around the Sallyport that night. Later that night, he had access to it. He's the chief of police. Even though he might have been IOD at the time, he still could come and go as he pleases. And in a situation like this, where there's a police officer found dead on another police officer's lawn, especially Brian Albert's lawn, whom he knew well, there's almost no chance that Ken Berkowitz was not in some way, shape, form, or fashion involved in the goings on in the subsequent 8, 10, 12 hours.
I mean, you would have to be. I mean, that's Higgins' best buddy. And my question is, I understand he was obviously not alive for the second trial. Did you guys try to call him during the first trial? And I understood he was very sick during the first trial. Did you want to call him, and were you allowed to if you were?
If we wanted to, we probably could have. It was not high on my priority list. I didn't really want to hear from Chief Berkowitz. I know, look, he's a seasoned officer. He was also Brian Higgins' best friend. I tend to evaluate the folks that we call in terms of the pros and cons. I didn't feel like the pros outweighed the cons of calling him in the first trial, even if he was available. So we didn't even really try.
Okay. All right. So I have some other questions here. This next one is so I talked to Karen right during, like, when the prosecution was wrapping up its case, and I'm like, it appears if Proctor wasn't going to be called and McAlberts weren't going to be called. And she asked me, do you think that we should call him. And I'm like, you're asking me? I'm not a lawyer. I'm like, yeah, I think, yeah, totally. Yeah. How can you not call them? Like, that would be horrible if you don't call them. Ultimately, you didn't call them. And tell me, was there any dissent on the legal defense team about that? Was there a rigorous debate about whether or not Proctor and the McAlberts would be called?
Not really. Not really. I mean, there was a debate, not a debate. There was a discussion. That's a better word for it. Not a debate. It was a discussion. Ultimately, the buck stops with me. It was my decision not to call Michael Proctor, who's my witness as lead counsel for the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. Someone's got to make the ultimate decision. There was no real dissension. Once we talked it out, it was my determination that it was not in our best interest to call Michael Proctor, not because it wouldn't be fun, not because I wasn't ready for it, not because it wouldn't be a lot of fireworks. And that's why, look, that's why most of the media was, and the internet went nuts and, oh my God, you got to call Michael Proctor, because it's entertainment, for Christ's sake. You saw the first trial?
It is entertainment, but Betterow, a man I know you respect a lot, was pretty
Deeply.
vocal that he would call Higgins, especially. He was like,
Yeah.
he just thought there was a lot left on the table, and by not calling him, and I said this on my show, I go, this is the ballsiest decision ever, because if this woman is convicted of anything,
I got to own it.
DUI, then you not only you got to own it, that's going to go down as the worst call ever, like your Grady Little level, like keeping Pedro in the game, like that. Right. That's what that would go down as. Didn't that make you freaking nervous?
I say this a lot, and it sounds really self-aggrandizing. I don't get nervous. I make people nervous. I make decisions because they're the right decisions, and it comes from 30 plus years of decision making. And at some point, you got to have the balls to make the call. You got to make the call. Mm. I knew that in my heart of hearts, I knew that having an empty chair, having the ogre under the bridge, having and that's both Proctor and Higgins. I could make hay out of the fact that the Commonwealth didn't call two very, very obvious witnesses. How do you not call as the prosecution? How does Hank Brennan sit there with his suit on and his tie knotted and his glasses on, sitting there with his hair combed and his socks and his shoes and all his accoutrements, and stand up in front of the jury in closing argument and express to them a reasonable judgment why he didn't call the lead homicide investigator for the lead homicide that the jurors are expected to judge.
Well,
and I made him.
He wasn't the lead. He wasn't the lead, according to Mr. Bukaki.
Yeah. But everybody in the courtroom except him knew that was bullshit. That was complete bullshit. So I was never gonna. My decision at the very beginning of the trial is, if they don't call Proctor, I'm not going to call Proctor.
Really? So you decided early on?
Yeah, I was going to make them own it. They're going to own it.
Really? Okay.
They're going to have to own that. And it's a difficult ownership to have, not to call your lead investigator when the jurors are commissioned with the responsibility of judging the investigation. How do you not call the lead investigator? So I knew what I was doing. It was
but you destroyed him last time.
I did. I didn't need to do it again this time, as the evidence indicates, right? We got her acquitted, right? So
you did.
I knew that I didn't need to. From an ego standpoint, I would have loved to cross-examine Michael Proctor again. He stood no chance. As bad as it went for him the last time, it would have gone 10 times worse this time. But I didn't need it. It's not about me. It's not about me having, national press cross-examining some lead investigator who's falling apart under the crucible of cross-examination, having to answer for questions, having to answer for text messages that he sent that are disastrous for him. That's not what it's about. It's about trial strategy, and that's what I employed. And Karen agreed. And at the end of the day, it was, like you said, the buck stopped with me. But everybody on the team agreed. Nope, we're not calling Proctor, and we're not calling Higgins.
Let's talk about strategy for a moment. So I went through some old messages with your client from like November or October of last year between the trials. And one of the things I'm telling her is, you guys have to call Barrows. You guys left it on the table by in the first trial not asking him that question that you asked him this time around.
Stop it. Aidan, we didn't leave it on the table.
Well, I know.
We didn't know the information. They hid
Right.
the freaking information from us.
Well, no, but you didn't know what he was going to say. I'm talking about like
exactly.
Right. So they did hide that information, right? Correct.
Yeah.
So my question for you is because I'm like reading these messages, and she's like, telling me here that like, we got what we wanted. You have to walk away. Never ask one question too many is Alan's MO. It's
Correct.
Too much of a risk. Blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting here and I'm telling her, I'm telling you, that guy wants to talk. I could tell just by the way he said it.
Yeah,
that guy wants to talk.
Got a good instinct, dude.
So how did the Barrows connection develop? Like, is my question. Did you guys reach out to him? Did he reach out to you? Okay.
No, we reached out to him through a subpoena, and then the normal process is a defense attorney, even in Massachusetts. I mean, same in California. I send a subpoena out. The law, if it's to law enforcement, their subpoena control office sends the subpoena to the officer. Usually the officer will call us back. I think he did. I think Nick called us back and said, "Hey, look, when do you need me? When are you thinking the trial's going to go forward?" It's just logistical conversations. And I said to him, as I would with any witness in that position, I would like to meet you face to face. I just want to. And the reason for that, Aidan, is because I wanted to kick the tires, right? I don't want to put a witness on, especially with the import of information that Nick Barrows had, without at least hearing a little bit of his countenance. How does he carry himself? What are his, by the way, it wasn't.
And what's he going to say about the taillight?
It wasn't going to be a deep conversation about the taillight. I wasn't going to ask him deeply about the taillight. And I didn't.
You didn't? Oh,
no,
okay.
No. But I said, listen, we're in a hotel. Come over to the hotel. Let me meet you. He said, "Sure, I'll drive. I can do that. No problem." So we met at the hotel. We talked about logistics. We talked about when he's available, how long his testimony is expected to be, etc. And I had there. I mean, some of this I'm gonna leave for other forums,
of course.
So there was a decision that I had made. Karen was well aware of it. Liza was well aware of it. That it was going to be a game time decision about how that interview was going to go. And I'm allowed to ask anything I want to. I could show him all the photographs I want. I could show him his prior testimony. I could hand him his transcript of his prior testimony. I could do anything I want. Anything the Commonwealth could do, I could do. But I made a decision at that time, and we'll talk a little bit more in different forums about this. Why I handled that interview the way that I did. And by the end of the interview, I was, and it wasn't an interview other than just the logistics, really just when can you be there? How do I get a hold of you? Do you have a cell phone? Do I need to go through subpoena control? Here's when we're thinking about calling you. I don't know if the Commonwealth's going to call you or not. Did they subpoena you? I asked them that, etc. Nope. They didn't. They weren't interested in him.
They didn't even put him on the list.
They didn't even put him on the list. And that tells you everything you need to know about whether Hank Brennan and the prosecution was after the truth.
They put me on the list and not Barrows.
Correct.
Which tells you a lot.
They put you on the list. If I had to guess, they put you on the list to get you out of the courtroom. That's why
he was never going to call me.
It was horseshit. Are you kidding? You're going to call Aidan Kearney in the case of Commonwealth versus Karen Reed? Not a chance.
So I actually was the one that informed you last June during the first trial that you had no idea that Karen Reed was almost indicted or not. We don't know how close she was, but there was a grand jury that took place.
Yep.
Into conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. You found that out when I told you that, right? Yep. You had no idea that was going on.
Zero.
How do you feel about that?
I felt backstabbed. I felt jumped. I felt like it was just another opportunity for the Commonwealth to put their foot on Karen's throat. They were never, ever, ever going to be satisfied until she was behind bars, in handcuffs. By the way, I think that this was a ploy. If I had to guess strategically as a prosecutor, I think that this was a ploy to get her bail revoked. I think they wanted to try this case with her in Orange County jump, an Orange County jump. Period. Full stop.
She's a lot less effective behind bars with no internet.
Oh my God. We could not have. I've said this before in other interviews before the trial, that I've never ever, and I don't know that I ever will, find a smarter client than Karen. She is just brilliant. You've had a lot of interaction with her.
She's very
You've talked
smart
to her several times. She's very smart. She's got an encyclopedic memory. She can pull things out of her head that I mean, if I asked her if I called her on the phone right now, no, I'm not going to. Tell me about this report. She could say, without looking up anything, she could say that was in the such and such report on page 273. I remember it was sort of the top half of the page, and the person said X. Literally that level of knowledge about the entire case, tens of thousands of pages worth of data. If I didn't have access to her, if Liza didn't have access to her, and Bob and David didn't have access to her, we would not have been an effective defense team.
Calling her on the Securus app every day wouldn't have been fun.
Knew that.
Yeah.
Brendan watched the first trial. He's not stupid.
No,
he may be a lot of things, and I've got a lot of adjectives for him, but he ain't stupid. And saw how effective she was. He wanted her behind bars, period. And they used Cosgrove or whatever that
Mello.
Yeah, Mello, whatever. They used him as a tool.
So that was actually one of my other questions I have written down here. So in January of 2024, when I was locked up, I saw in the news that your client's home was raided by the state police, and that they had been monitoring her trips to Florida, and that they had a warrant for her phone. And it was all related to potential conspiracy with me. And when it first happened, I'm like, oh man, Ken Mello really opened up a can he doesn't want to hear, and they're gonna destroy him. But you guys really didn't go after Ken Mello. You really didn't talk much about that. Why was that?
Wasn't relevant. If it didn't go anywhere, if it didn't go to an indictment, then I didn't care. That's just bullshit. It's just.
All right, I don't know what happened there, guys. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Well, I don't know what happened. That was weird, huh? That's YouTube stopped all by itself. That ain't me. Swear to God. Not me. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right, we're back. Right? Check. All right, here we are. That's where we stand, guys. I have the Zoom. I have the Zoom link already up. I am still trying to get into the quote-unquote Zoom room. I already disabled the camera, and so when we join, we won't be quote-unquote one of them people, right? Right? I'm glad you guys watched that interview with Aidan and AJ. I think that was rather one of the better interviews he gave. Him and Runkle. Runkle, I think, was his best. That was probably his second best interview. But again, it's easy. It's easy to talk. It's easy to talk when you're talking about the truth. That doesn't change. 8 Ways to Sunday, it's always embedded in truth, whereas the other side has done nothing but deception. Completely different, absolutely different. I sent one. I don't know if there's any mods on, but I sent the Zoom link. Maybe they can try from a different connection. I'm still getting the spinning wheel right here. All right. Let me get out. Let me get right out and come right back in. Don't go nowhere, everybody. All right. Okay, here we go. Radio check. Does that sound good? Sound better? It should. Let me do this too. This is going to help. I bet you that helped a lot, right? Nice. All right, check. Off the list. Secondary. Someone made a comment in the chat, and they're dead balls right. Why are we even doing this? Right? Why? Why? He's a journalist asking questions of people that have answers. What the freak? Isn't that what they do? I don't get it. Again, look, I'll ask the question again. Who killed John O'Keefe? Who? Next question. How'd the taillights get at 34 Fairview? Can you expect me to believe anything? Anything that these people say? They killed a young girl with a baby, and they go to sleep at night. I guess killing a cop ain't so bad after all, right? Come on. What freaking world are we living in here? That's just unacceptable for anywhere you go. We're above that. So now I hear Yuri got to drive to Framingham every day, or is going to end up in Framingham. I used to work in Framingham. It sucks driving there. It's its own hell. All right. Yeah. Everything we saw was fabricated, not right, intentionally misleading. Erica, unfortunately, a jury of her peers found her not guilty twice. So sorry to burst your bubble, Erica, but you're entitled to your opinion. It's okay. It's okay. We happen to know a little differently, and we can help you through this if you're looking for some help. We can do that. You're in the right place. Driving through Brockton, my favorite place to be. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Sandra Birchmore was murdered. And then he left and went and gave birth to his own child. Oh my word, these people are diabolical. Uh, all right, so what? All right, I don't know how trucks drive these roads. They're horrible. They're vicious. All right, so it's 1:36. I'm gonna pull over up here, and I'm gonna try and get into the. I'm gonna pull over, so I'm not like doing things that are not supposed to do, like controlling your computer from a car while you're driving somewhere. That's usually not on a list of approved things to do, so I won't do that. Knew that was going to be wrong. Come on. Oh, all right. So, move people, not me, guys. All right, so up here, I do believe. Do they have a Starbucks in Brockton? I wonder. Watch this guy. That sounds pretty good. That doesn't. That's an Audi with a bad valve. Whoa! Wow, dude. That was close. I hate idiots that drive like that. There's absolutely no need. No need. No need to do that. He endangered a bunch of people's lives right then and there. Freaking idiot. Absolute idiot. I'm not the smartest bubble in the world, but that guy, Jesus. That place stole my credit card information once. Never go back there. Oh, we're entering Avon, Mr. Higgins. You don't happen to have a ex-girlfriend in Avon, do you, bud? Just checking. Because she said, get the fuck out of here. So I did. Exactly what I did. She said, get the fuck out of here, so I left. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, I'm pulling over up here, guys, because where I'm at, there's no way I'm going to make Aidan. No way. I mean, I'd maybe get him at the very tip of the thing, but then I'm screwed at the, what do you call it? Screwed at the time and whatnot. So I'm going to go. This ain't the nicest spot in the world, but it'll have to do. Guy's over there doing something. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, can you guys hear me? I get good signal? You guys got me, right? All right, so let's do this first. Shut that off. You're welcome. Who says thank you for all you do? Who said that? RVA. RVA? You know what? You guys being here and watching this is all the thanks in the world I could ever imagine. Yeah, just you guys being here. And you know what? You guys have always been here, for Christ's sakes. You've been here for a while. A lot of years. So for that, I thank you guys. I thank you guys a lot for that. All right. I need my pen. Okay. All right, here's this. Zoom. Click. Oh, am I in? I think I'm in. Nope. Here's my problem. Oh, come on. Right? So, we're just waiting, I guess. Let me share. What's this one? That one I'm going to close. Well, no, I'm going to close the other one then. They're the same. Close that. I'm going to close this too. I'm starting over. Okay. Close that. Close. 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 Leave meeting. Thank you. Okay. One more time. Where is it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come on. Hold on, guys. No. Jesus. Go back. Up here. Okay, so there's that. Now I go back to here. Click. That. StreamYard. Come on. No. Oh, we're in. Okay, that isn't it. Cancel. Okay. There's that. Now we go back here. Open Zoom meeting. I was just in the freaking thing. I don't see. There we go. Okay. Come on. Come on. That. Nope. That's the window there. Share. The other window. Nope. That one ain't it. Come on. This is how it is today. This. Right? You share the whole window. Share. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Window. Zoom. Share. Is this what I want? Courtroom 1's personal meeting room. So that's not what I want to share. So minimize that window. Stop sharing that. Alright, now I can see stuff. Present. Share. Alright. It's a tab, so it's got to be this. It should go there automatically, I would say. Hold on, guys. Come on. Oh, my word. Hold on, guys. You guys still there? Hold on. I'm getting the password. Hey, guys. Sorry about that. There's some weird stuff going on. Cancel. I don't want this. My phone, first off, my phone's overheating for whatever reason. It's very strange. And it gets hot, but not like that. My mobile hotspot keeps bumping me off. Close, okay. And I mean, I have nothing running in my phone. But I got this, guys. Let me just get the stream up and running, and I'm heading that way. So there's that. That's fixed. Back to this. I got you guys. I got it. All right. Open. Okay. Okay. Let's go. We can do this now. Move. Join meeting or ID. So let me go get that ID for you guys. Again, I'm getting kicked out for no reason whatsoever. God. All right, guys, we're in. No, I'm here, guys. I'm here. I just wanted to try and get the stream up and running first before I drive there. I'm pretty sure that is what we're supposed to see. Can you guys just check and see if this is right? I just pulled over so I could get in. I'm in my computer right now. I just don't know if this is where we're supposed to be through Zoom. I don't go through Zoom. I don't use Zoom. All right, guys. I'm gonna try this. Hold on. All right. I'm pretty sure this is what we're supposed to see, guys. And then I don't think it started. So let me. I had to take my phone out of my case because it was burning up for whatever reason. Today it has to burn up. No other day it's okay, except today. I call bullshit on that one. Really do. Okay, where's the fucking keyboard? Keyboard. Where is it? Right here. I don't want this. Okay. I'm looking, guys. I'm looking. Come on. So I do a search for Aidan in Lauren Crime, and it's nothing there. So how Melanie has it is beside me. I don't understand it. Why I can't find it. It's dumb. All right, so let's go to Melanie Little and see where she's getting it from. I should be doing all this on my phone, not on my tablet. Yeah. Ball it's raining. In Brockton. Doesn't get any better. Yeah, Melanie got the number. I don't have that number up. I don't understand why. Is it because she's not in, or because I'm in and she isn't? Right? Am I in? Is that what that is? Anybody? If she's got nothing. All right, I can read the chat real quick. Guys, are we in here? Is that what I'm asking? Anybody else seen this before? Yeah, I don't need the internet shit. This is all right, Renee. This is right. This means we're in the room. That's all I'm asking. Because this is good then. I have no volume. I don't know why. Why I have no volume. I got nothing. So I got. I mean, other than this, guys, I got nothing. So I can tell you. I must not have it. So I have to get out and go back in again. Is that what you're saying? I am fucking sweating my ass off. Wow. Ah. All right. So this isn't it. Okay. Stopping this. Hold on, guys. Stop. Close that fucking thing out. All right. New window. Come on now. Why aren't you moving? What? All right. Now my tablet's locked up. Why, guys? Why is this happening? This does not happen anywhere else. Nowhere. Only today. Unbelievable. I'll get in this thing. It's the last thing I do here. Boom. The fuck? Keyboard. Keyboard. What's this say? Oh, Jesus. Now they don't like my email. I mean, that worked. I'm in. Continue. All right, I think we got it, guys. Come on. Open Zoom meeting. That's it. Get a StreamYard. All right, guys, you guys see what? There it is, right here. Okay. Window. This is what I see, guys. Right? It's nothing. That's what comes up. So we're all in. We're all in the same thing. Right? Come on. Jesus. I don't understand what's up with the tablet. Having a hard problem with this. I can't even. All right. I don't know what to say. I got nothing. Best I can do is nothing.
this might, cause election shifts, and that's not a reason to impound things, Your Honor. And initially, we have sort of taken the candy from, from the Commonwealth, and when they say, we'll give you the stuff, but just agree to this protective order. So we want the stuff, but at some point we have to get off of that train, Your Honor. This is a case of immense public interest. This is a case of, First Amendment issues, and I know we may disagree on that, but that's what our adversary system is for, and that's okay. And I think every case that eventually gets to the SJC or the Supreme Court starts with a trial judge maybe not agreeing with you, so that's okay. And, that's what we have here. But in any event, Your Honor, I think we can agree that this case brings to the fore really important issues about what is witness intimidation, what is journalism, where does the First Amendment fit in, and, these text messages about, and I'm trying to not speak of them in open court, but we all know what they say, and we all know that there's a public interest in shining some sunlight on these things. So we're not asking to, publish someone's address or someone's phone number. We're asking for the content of these communications that these folks have issued between and among each other. And the content of them per se has no persuasive power to make you want to impound them.
Let me ask Mr. Cosgrove, what interest at the moment does impoundment serve?
Your Honor, I've just been handed 20 minutes ago a fairly extensive motion suggesting that I have all kinds of various burdens to justify impoundment and citing a lot of case law. I would like an opportunity to file a written response.
I'd give you that. Was a week enough?
I'd like a little more than that.
About 2 weeks.
All right.
There you go. I'll give you 2 weeks. I'll take it under advisement. And if you want to file anything else, Mr. Bradle, Mr. Betterow, you absolutely have every opportunity.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Your Honor. And
Now, Your Honor, with respect to the items that I was going to turn over today.
So I'll allow the motion. Mr. Bradle, I'm up here.
sorry, Your Honor.
It's all right.
I thought I had a minute.
That's fine. You got to talk to your client. You got to talk to Mr. Betterow. My point is this. If you want the stuff today, I'll allow it without prejudice.
Sure.
And then I'll see what you have to say and what Mr. Cosgrove.
We have to take the candy.
That's fine.
All right. Please note our objection, but thank you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I will allow Mr. Cosgrove's motion without prejudice, and I'll take any submissions that you have, and I'll give you a final answer probably in about 3 weeks.
Thank you very much.
Does that make sense? Okay.
And then, Judge, just to shift gears a little bit, there's some outstanding discovery that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And I want to start off. I know that the court's time can be much better spent in discovery disputes. So we talked about the idea that we would go to the DA's office, and to the extent there's items that the government says they've given us that we can't open up or figure out.
Yeah.
I think we're going to agree to go in person with our people and figure it out. So
yeah, sure.
That's the first thing I want to say. But then, in addition, Your Honor, there's this inventory that I filed. It's entitled Inventory of Outstanding Items in Connection with our third motion to compel.
Okay.
There's about 10 things, Your Honor, and I think, unfortunately, that the government ought to go through and answer to us today about what the status of these things is. And we've been kind of going back and forth about these things for a long time. I looked back, Your Honor, and my first discovery request was February of 24. And second and third, were the months following. And in fairness, counsel for the Commonwealth was not the prosecutor of record at the time. But, the rules are the rules, and we need this stuff, and it's gone on way too long. So these are the 10 things that I think are very important, and maybe 9.
Mr. Cosgrove, might you want to take that 2 weeks and respond to all of those?
Could you give me an extra week, Your Honor?
An extra week.
Thank you.
All right. But it is, Mr. Bradle makes a very good point. As we all know, I think that it's important that the discovery be turned over so that we can bring a timely trial to the case.
I don't disagree with Your Honor. Notwithstanding that Mr. Bradle has some complaints, and some of them may well be legitimate, there has been a substantial amount of discovery turned over in this case.
Yeah. If you turn over 5,000 pages today, it's a lot of discovery.
We appreciate it, Your Honor.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And Attorney Bettero has a number of items as well, Judge.
Mr. Bettero.
Thank you, Judge. Just going back briefly to some of the issues about impoundment.
Yeah.
There are some items that are currently under impoundment, which we believe ought to be released from impoundment, specifically messages from Michael Proctor and a civilian witness. Those messages were cited in our motion to dismiss. As the court is no doubt aware, Michael Proctor is terminated from the state police. He has been a matter of public interest with his involvement in both the Karen Reed case, which led to Mr. Carney's interest and ultimately, on some level, his indictment in this case. But also, those messages were impounded ostensibly for privacy interests, security interests, those sorts of things. Recently, Michael Proctor has been on a press tour on ABC News and NBC News, vigorously defending his investigative conduct. The messages that are at issue here, which are impounded, the public is entitled to see that. There is certainly a presumption of public access to those files. Michael Proctor has surrendered any privacy interest he has by addressing those issues, as has, the other civilian that we're talking about, who also recently appeared on national news with other members of her family defending her and her family's conduct in this case. Those messages should be publicly available. If there's going to be information that's in the public realm, there's no reason why information that the prosecution wanted concealed from public view should be concealed any further. If the court likes, we can approach and show you the messages. I would suggest they are relatively straightforward, and there's no reason for those to be impounded at this time.
Okay. Anything you want to say to that, Mr. Cosgrove? I'm not going to give you another week.
Well, I would suggest it would make sense to take this up when we take up the other matters.
I think that makes sense too.
Yeah, I won't ask for another week. I won't ask for another day.
That's, why don't I do this? Why don't you all come up to sidebar? Let me take a look at what you need. You go back. Mr. Betterow, the floor is yours. What else?
Thank you. Judge, one outstanding issue relates to the second of the three indictments that relates to Lindsay Gaetani. We moved and were granted a hearing to disqualify Mr. Mello from prosecuting that case because he is an essential witness in that matter. That issue was decided in September of 2024. A hearing was ordered in January of 2025. For reasons which the court is familiar with, that hearing has been put off. Nevertheless, we're looking to move this forward, and the issue is not resolved, and we're led to believe that Mr. Mello will not voluntarily withdraw. For whatever reason, we need to do this hearing. We believe that he's going to be a defense witness in this case. We're getting discovery between him and another civilian witness today, which I think is going to further that application and very likely make him even more a prosecution witness. And we just can't kick this can down the road for close to a year. So we would like to schedule a date for Mr. Mello to either appear, be examined under oath, explain the consequences, which the court, again, is probably familiar with. He was contacted by the complainant during the alleged crime repeatedly, 4 or 5 times over the course of that day. Instead of the police being called, he was an ear witness to these allegations. Respectfully, he needs to come in here, answer these questions so the court can issue a decision as to whether he's going to be allowed to continue or whether we can go through the process of subpoenaing him and any other items that might be of assistance to us with calling him as a witness.
Mr. Cosgrove.
Could I inquire if Mr. Mello is online?
I do not see him. Attorney Mello, last time he did use his name, there is no one with his name on there this time.
Can I approach?
Of course. Come on up. Mr. Betterow, you said you had one more thing.
Yes, Judge. Just as it relates to discovery, we have made a series of discovery demands from the prosecution ranging from October of 2024 As of this date, not including whatever was filed today, we have made 4 very thorough, detailed discovery demands sourced regarding contacts between a civilian named Catherine Peter and the state police and the district attorney's office regarding her very unique relationship in all matters involving Mr. Carney. Those demands, which again are in the files, Mr. Cosgrove has them, outline in detail her frequent contacts with the state police, with people that are prosecutors, statements that she has made under oath in court proceedings stating that she helps authorities get Mr. Carney, voice recordings that she has left Mr. Carney indicating that she provides information to them. So we have asked for any discovery related to Ms. Peter going on about a year. Now, today, for the first time, we are admittedly getting something that relates to her communications with Mr. Mello. I'll only note that all materials that relate to Ms. Peter and the prosecution were ordered by the court in early May to have been provided within 20 days. That didn't happen. We got stuff today. That's fine. But the real issue here is that in light of the change in Rule 14 from last March, the game is very different than it might have been before in terms of what the prosecution is obligated to do and what I don't believe they've done in this case, which is go to every member of the prosecution team, which is everyone in the district attorney's office, any of the state police who are involved in these matters, which includes Michael Proctor at the time, Yuri Buchanan, Lieutenant Tully, Fanning, there's a whole list of them. The Karen Reed prosecutors who are also covered, who got a little bit involved, as the court is aware, in Mr. Carney's case and may or may not have had a relationship with her too. She has made statements allegedly indicating some involvement in that case. The rule requires the prosecution, whether they credit the information or not, to contact each individual that is on the prosecution team and make an inquiry and find out whether there is any material and disclose it. We don't think that that has happened. We respectfully submit that is something that Mr. Cosgrove has to do. In particular, I would draw the court's attention to testimony that was given by a member of the state police in February of 2024, which led to a wiretapping charge against Mr. Carney, in which Fanning of the state police stated under oath that they received a recording, a 30-second recording from Catherine Peter, that it was given to Lieutenant Tully and then given to Fanning, and we have no evidence of that. We don't have a copy of the recording. We were given the wrong recording in that regard. We have no police reports. We have no communications. We have nothing. If they don't exist, they don't exist, but they're obligated to look for it, make the inquiry, and report back and say whether any of this exists or not. And the last thing I'll note on that point, under the new rule, it doesn't matter whether the prosecutor credits any of this, thinks it's nonsense, thinks it might be real. They're obligated to do it, and we simply ask respectfully that the court instruct the prosecution to do that and disclose whatever evidence ought to be disclosed, or make a statement on the record that there is nothing to disclose. And if that's the case, then we'll all live and die with the consequences of that statement.
Okay, Mr. Cosgrove.
It's largely been done.
Is that part of the 5,000 pages that you're turning over?
It is. Among the things turned over is the email from Catherine Peter to Brian Tully providing that 30-second clip.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fine. So that seems to solve that. You said that you had some things you wanted to bring up. Go right ahead.
Yes. So this will be an opportunity, Your Honor, for myself and Mr. Betterow to do an absolute 180 on our positions on disclosure of impounded documents. Your Honor will recall that the last time we were here, attached to a discovery motion was an affidavit.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, it was initially filed provisionally, without hearing from the Commonwealth, was impounded upon, I believe, not the affiant's representation, but I think Mr. Bradle's representation that the affiant was in fear that there would be some sort of retaliation by the Commonwealth. I think Your Honor will recall the fairly outrageous, if I can put it that way, representations that were made by the affiant. I believe now, as I moved at the time, that affidavit should either be stricken or that the impoundment order should be lifted. I don't believe an affiant should be allowed to accuse an assistant DA of jury tampering and a district attorney of having secret meetings with witnesses and all these other things, and then hide behind an impoundment order.
Okay. Let me hear from the other side. Mr. Bedero.
Yes, a couple things that I think ought to be corrected. The affiant is not alleging what happened. The affiant is alleging under oath that she was told by another individual who we were discussing earlier what happened. That's the first point. The second point is that document was attached as an exhibit to a discovery demand. Discovery demand number 4, alleging more reason to believe that there is an obligation for the prosecution to look into possible discovery that is in their possession, custody, or control. If that affidavit were to be stricken, that means literally nothing. They are still obligated to do whatever it is they had to do. And at the time that that motion was discovered until 20 minutes ago, absolutely nothing has been turned over regarding this person who brags about working for the authority. So I don't know the relevance of doing anything one way or the other with respect to the affidavit. Now, that person may very well have a privacy interest because the day after that affidavit was filed, her apartment was essentially covered in personal information about herself that could have only come from someone with access to law enforcement. And almost certainly that individual was subjected to charges of witness tampering, which I believe were actually under investigation and may still very well be. I can't go farther than that. I don't know. Somebody, whoever did this, wrote snitch on her door. So I would suggest in this situation, impoundment of her name is more than appropriate.
Okay.
Just make 2 points in response. One, I don't think it's entirely true that the affiant was simply relying on recounting hearsay. If she was, that would say something about the credibility of the affidavit as well. But I seem to recall, Your Honor, that at least one point the affiant represented that she was present when Ms. Peter, I believe it was having a phone conversation with Hank Brennan, and that she, the affiant, recognized Hank Brennan's voice because she was familiar with it. So I don't think it was simply a matter of hearsay. The second thing I'd say is that the identity of this person is all over the internet, and was all over the internet at the time it was before you the other day. I don't know what the interest is, given those circumstances, in concealing it in the court papers.
Okay. Judge, I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Could I just add one thing?
Yeah.
Apparently, these things that were affixed to her door in her apartment building, which is the same apartment building that Ms. Peters lives in. And I think the implication was made at the time. First of all, that event was publicized by Mr. Kearney on the internet with photographs of the door in question. And I guess I would just question, Your Honor, the source of those documents, let's put it that way.
Okay.
Just very quickly, Your Honor, in terms of this individual's name being on the internet, there are two reasons for that. The first is because Ms. Peter identified her publicly and led to this kind of harassment. The other reason, and this was no question a mistake, but Mr. Cosgrove mentioned her name accidentally, and no question, no malintent, but her name was stated in open court, and as you can see, people watch in court, online, and whatnot. So the fact that her name had been put out accidentally through no fault, with no malintent, is not a reason, I think, to just open up the affidavit to her name.
Okay. Thank you all. So we have a date for, what was that, August? What was the date, Margaret?
August 13th for
August
discovery
13th.
compliance.
And then we'll pick a date for the other issue. Am I correct, Mr. Cosgrove?
Yeah.
Towards the end of the month?
Now, or do you want to pick it on?
Why don't we pick it on the 13th? I think that makes sense.
All right, I may have some, I'm sorry, I should be standing.
That's okay.
I may have some information about,
That's fine.
the health status at that time.
All right. We'll see you all on August 13th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
One more, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I believe we have an agreement. Mr. Bradel has responded relative to the source code for accessing the search of the devices.
Yep.
And he's indicated there was the same source code previously provided Lieutenant Tully, and that he would supply it again if necessary. And I've indicated to him that that's appropriate, and I think he should supply it today.
So
and I don't
Mr.
think there's a disagreement with that.
All right. You don't disagree with that, do you?
Sure.
Yeah, all right, good. I'll see you August 13th.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye.
2 p.m. 2 p.m. Thank you.
We have any lobbies we could go?
Yeah, we're gonna take that. We'll take it across the
Yes.
street.
Yeah.
Just get out of
I'm not aware that, I'll check on that. I know I saw something where she said in a text message to this Jean lady, this message she said, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, next before the court, number 18, Como versus Lokeshwar Kunta. I apologize for that pronunciation. The parties could please step forward and identify themselves for the record.
No rush.
Can somebody full screen me?
Take a shower.
Maybe. Sure. What are you gonna do, right? Thank you. What are you gonna do? Hang in there, right?
I would. No, we don't.
Hey, listen, everybody, if you're new here, please like and subscribe. Please. Great crowd. Yeah. And they just keep rolling out. How are you, dear? Good to see you.
What's up, Tom?
How you doing, bud?
Good, buddy. How you
Good
doing?
to see you. Yeah. I'm just checking them, making sure they work. Yeah.
So, you want any pictures? Let me know.
Oh.
Could you see
Sorry. No, I supposed to scoot over there.
You want to get in there?
Just scooch.
Yeah, go right ahead. She can. I think I'll see if I can do it. Turn it around.
You got to maybe ask them.
Attorney.
I know they had like how many documents that they walked on each of it.
Yeah, it looks interesting. 5,000 pages. We'll have it worked out for us, and I think it'll probably move the needle pretty well.
5,000 people.
Looking forward to looking at
I
it.
may have missed it. So,
Hey,
can you
Jess.
talk, hi, Attorney, how are you?
Good.
Can you talk a little bit about removing Attorney Mello from this case? Have you spoken to him? Is it something he's not willing to do? Has he stated that he's not going to remove himself? How's that going to go?
We haven't spoken with them. I think it's been papered throughout the case. We filed all sorts of motions. We just want to be heard on it. There's all sorts of issues with it, and we're just going to fall back on the papers that we filed on it. At this point we're just trying to get a hearing so we can make our arguments that we've laid out.
Have you ever seen a case where you've had an attorney that started off, that left the case and is now a key witness in the case? Obviously, based on communications with Lindsay and Kate, this is a very interesting situation.
It's unprecedented for me. I've never had a case where a prosecutor got involved with the witnesses and then became somebody that was going to have to be potentially testifying as a potential impeachment witness or a fact witness, getting calls at 3:00 in the morning, while my client is in the house. It is unprecedented.
Right. What do you make of the judge's kind of jovial, laid-back vibe today? He seemed in a great mood. He laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Can we interpret that as him not taking this seriously? How should we interpret this?
No. Judge Doolin is the best. I mean, you don't get any better than him. He's been around. He's walked the walk. He was in the DA's office. He's been a defense lawyer forever. He's terrific. I mean, he's so.
Yeah.
I noticed you took part in the bench hearings, conferences. How'd that go for you?
Darren can do it. Why can't I?
Yeah. Was it worthwhile?
Yeah. Find out interesting stuff that you don't know is happening. But you probably
can't talk about them.
Yeah, you can't talk about them, but apparently you're allowed to, so why not?
So how do you think it went? Are you comfortable with everything?
Oh yeah, it went great. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff out there. I mean, the big thing is there's all this discovery that's compounded, and we've had it for months and months and months, and we can't talk about it. There's no reason not to talk about it. It's in the public interest. It's outrageous, and there's just this cloud of secrecy that exists in Norfolk County where they think they can operate in the dark and do whatever they want, and no one else gets to know except them. And that's just not how the United States of America works. It's not how freedom works. So I think it was a good day. I think Doolin
Judge Doolin seemed pretty receptive to it. So, yeah.
He told me to tell you guys nothing.
Jess mentioned that. She said it's kind of jovial at times, that those sidebars. In fact, I was glad to see you were up there because maybe I thought it would be less yucking it up with the good old boys. But I know how it works. You got the judge, he knows the attorneys, they're together on a lot of different stuff. But with you sitting there kind of monitoring it, did you feel like he took it as seriously as he should?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't just talk about what was discussed up there, but it was interesting.
Aidan, how do you feel about Attorney Mello possibly becoming a witness in this case? He was originally the prosecutor, and now we're looking to have him moved over to be a witness. How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about the integrity of this initial investigation in case, knowing that he may now be a critical part of testimony in regards to these witnesses?
Well, it's undeniable that he is a witness. He acted unprofessionally, in my opinion. Instead of, sending these deep people to the police, he acted as their own personal police, and he became a witness. And he's definitely a witness. So.
It looked to me like the court was looking for his name in terms of being attorney of record still. I saw the court looking for. Is Mello an attorney of record in this case still?
Yes. Yeah, he's still on all the emails.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, why is that?
You'd have to ask him.
Inertia.
He's still cutting a check out of it.
You'd have to ask him.
Mr. Grado, how was the day for you?
Day was fine. Just as far as the Mello situation, there are issues, obviously, but the bottom line is never in 26 years have I ever seen a situation where an alleged victim of a crime calls the prosecutor in the middle of the night or while the crime is happening instead of 911 or the police. Once that happened, he made himself a witness, and that's just the way it is, and that has to be resolved. He's entitled to a fair trial. He's entitled to a trial without conflicts, and we're entitled to call someone who is a fact witness. And the fact that he happens to be the prosecutor, as regrettable as that is not a basis to get a pass. So we fully expect that we will have him removed from this case and potentially subpoena him and have him testify, and I think it will be favorable. We'll see.
How confident are you that you are going to receive all of the discovery that you've asked for in 3 weeks?
We'll have to wait and see. I take Mr. Cosgrove at his word. He did jump on this late. Other people were involved beforehand, but we're entitled to what we're entitled to, and we're going to get it, and we'll continue to complain until we do. And again, that's the centerpiece of a fair trial. We're entitled to material. We want it. And if you don't give it to us, then that's at your own peril.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on your statements regarding Michael Proctor? You said that he's out doing a press tour, that the expectation of privacy has kind of all gone out the window at this point. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Michael Proctor is a disgraced, corrupt, former state trooper who was terminated for his conduct in the case that Mr. Carney covered. And that same agency is the one who arrested him. There are communications which are impounded, I'm not going to get into them, that I think would shed a lot of light onto that. Now, as far as them being impounded for witness privacy issues, this man went on a press tour a few weeks ago and emphatically denied doing anything. We don't agree with that. But if you're going to put out piecemeal coverage publicly, trials are supposed to be fair, open, public access. The public ought to see exactly what he was saying and who he was saying it to before he was arrested and why that was. It's just public access and part of a fair trial. That's all.
So who is the Commonwealth protecting at this point?
I'm not going to speculate on who they're protecting. They seek impoundment of virtually everything, which is the antithesis, again, of what a fair trial is. There should be a presumption of openness. There should be light, not darkness. But for whatever reason, in this county, in their high-profile cases, they seem to have a presumption of darkness. We don't accept that.
All right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And you want to say anything to everybody else?
Better out with you. Love you guys.
We'll be there on the next day.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah, can you? Thank you. Can you take? Can you? Yeah. Thank you. Can I?
All right.
Oh, cool. I got
How are you, dear? Good to see you. I love that. No doubt. Love it. How are you? Good to see you. A little bit. Sorry. No, that's all right. I'm so sorry. You okay? No. I got one. You have my number? You have my email? I was. Just tell me about the dog. Just tell me about the dog. I'm so sorry about that. Sometimes, yeah. Listen, God needs pets too, right?
My dad and my best friend.
There you go. Yeah. How you doing? Remember what trying to get a picture of my dinner with you? Well, you get a picture? No? No, it's your phone. I'll take it. People do it, I do it. Get him now. Before he gets famous, not going to get near him. Telling you. Telling you. Tell him. I promise you. Just go ahead. I'll get a picture. Sure. It's all right.
Got it.
Yeah, no. I try and help everybody out. If they need a picture taken, click. I'm here anyway, right?
Okay. How you doing?
All right. Go ahead. Next. Walk right up there. You're up.
Wait a minute. Was she in there?
Yeah, I knew.
No, I don't think she was.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, honey.
How you doing? How's everything? Good. Excellent.
Good. You made up well today.
Good. But finally, right?
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Is it all ready to go?
It's good to see you.
Michelle, nice to see you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, get close. You're welcome, dear. Absolutely. There's a photographer.
Good day, Aidan. Nice to see you, brother.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, have a good day.
Tommy, nice
Hey,
to
catch
see
you in the
you.
morning, right?
What's that?
Catch you in the morning for the show?
Oh, it's tomorrow
In the morning?
What time?
Whenever. 7, 8, you tell me.
Tomorrow morning?
Yeah, what's best for you?
I'll message you.
All right, let me know.
Call on Yuri.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I know.
All right, and there it is. You're welcome. I got a bunch for you. You can go through them and see, I want this one, I don't want that one.
Thank you.
How you doing? How's everything? You still training? Good, don't stop. Don't.
I'll try.
Don't. You can't stop. That's the problem. People stop. You can't.
Then you get old.
You always keep the guard up. Always. And that's not going to hurt you in any way. It's only going to help you in the future. Patience. It's going to teach you all sorts of good stuff. And we want you like an assassin in like 5 or 6 years. You can do that, right? She's got 50 of them for the floor. Listen, keep her going. We're going to make her an assassin. This one.
doing 5 miles on the
Good? No shit.
I can get it done like under an hour each time.
That's even better. Wow. See ya. All right. I'm out, guys. Bye. Bye, dear.
Aiden's going on the salty bitch.
Huh? Yeah. She doesn't know what time yet. You guys stay out of trouble. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. I hear that all the time.
So
All right, man. Sorry about that. All right. So we got Tim Bradle. We got a great interview with Bradle. If you listen to Bradle, listen to what he says. It's really important. And then I asked Bedro about his day today, and he kind of went on a little thing, which is great. I mean, I love when these guys talk because they're not wrong. That's what we were taught in the academy when we had to do this law shit. Chain of custody. If you don't have chain of custody, you got nothing. And there's no chain of custody of this Kate Peter message that they supposedly just gave him. Out of 5,000 pages. Hi. Okay. I'm Tom. Yeah. Hello. I'm here.
Nice to see you.
Get a picture. Get a picture.
I look terrible. It's like
look at me. We're sweating in our car.
Oh my God, it's a million.
Isn't it so? But we've been out here harder though.
Well, I haven't because
I work every
Jesus
day from
Christ,
6. I look great.
I work every day from 7 to 6, so I haven't. This is the first time I've been able to come.
What do you think?
Because I'm on vacation this week.
Yeah, but what do you think of the people here?
It's great.
Wasn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried he wasn't going to get the turnout. You know what I mean?
Oh no, you get a good core group of people. I'm glad the second round people showed up.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I mean? The second people.
Yeah.
The first round of people are always there. Second round people sometimes.
I don't know where you parked. I parked down.
I'm right down here. I'm straight down here too.
Oh, is there?
Yep, over here. So I'm glad. Maybe you had good luck. You came and he ended up doing good today, right?
Yeah.
Over here.
I know. I was like, I'm like, you live in Whitman, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up in Cohasset.
Okay.
So we must have played each other in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Jerusalem Road. I have a bunch of customers live on that road.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I lived on off of Forest Ave. On
Okay.
Drive, yeah.
I got relatives live in Situate, right by the lighthouse.
All right. Yeah.
They almost get wiped out every year. They're close.
I don't know what year you graduated in.
88.
See, I graduated in 90.
Really?
I'm going to be 53 in August.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
Really?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
I'll talk to you later. You have a wonderful day.
I talk to you online. I always watch your streams.
Well, thank you.
You saved me because, like I said, I work every day 7 to 6,
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of working from home during the trial. So
Sure.
I was able to watch the first trial and the second trial, but I watched your stream like every morning, and I watch you and Mike in the morning.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate
You
that.
know?
So thank you very much.
Now you'll know who I am when my name pops up as Michelle W.
Now we know. Thank you. All right. That's awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome. Just buff people. It's okay. It's okay. So, last time the bus gets talked about. All right. Let's do this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm doing this. Now I can read the chat. Ha ha ha. How about that? Oh, Melanie sent you. Did she really send you guys over? That's awesome. Melanie's awesome. You really got to give it up. You got to give it up to these ladies that still have families and are still streaming for us, you know, and carrying on a family, which is a full-time job in itself. You got to give it to the women. I'm sorry. The guys can go out and work 8 hours a day, come home and friggin' be wiped out. That's just how guys operate, I guess. But you women, I tell you, you guys are just different. Built different. So, it's a good day for Aidan today. Very good day for Aidan. And, yeah. His lawyers are, you know, kind of unusual for a lawyer to be part of or to be on the witness list. That's bizarre. Whatever, we gotta figure that one out. Minion Mike's okay. What happened to Minion Mike? Is Minion Mike doing? What's wrong with him? Is he okay? Yeah, it's the whole freaking trial to be continued. Everything is. Continue. Come back. Oh, it's hot out. If anyone's donated, I'm sorry, I haven't seen it, but my Cash App and the Venmo are CPUTOM. Pam Benefoyle sent me some money this morning, so I want to thank Pam for that. I didn't see that until after I stopped the stream. So, Pam, again, you're just a dynamite person. Yeah, man. Anyone that's rich want to adopt me, I'm open to that too. So another kick the can down the road trial, I guess. Just like Karen. Come back. Half a day. Ah, it is humid out. What else? Oh, like and subscribe. That helps everything. Like and subscribe thing. And we'll be live tomorrow. I asked Aidan about coming on the show tomorrow, so he's gonna send me a message and figure it out. He doesn't have to come on. It's just invitations there. That's all. He can come on next week. Damn, he can come on whenever he wants. But all I can do is offer, right? So we'll see where that goes. Interesting too. Brooklyn Rules MBA. Thank you for that. Thank you. Debbie, thank you. Everybody here, thank you. Really, I appreciate it. I do. You guys are the reason I do this, you know? And it was a battle today, trust me. It was a battle. The battery was dead in the car, which is strange because nothing was left on. But yet the battery died. But so I fought through that. It's a little late. Remote controlling my PC from home. That was a kind of a horror show. My mod stepped in. They took over. Things went smooth from there. Wendy, thank you for watching. I hope you guys got a good interview with Aidan and his attorneys. I hope the volume was good with that. So that, well, Plug Russ, thank you for seeing that, Plugs. I do my best. Oh, Melanie is awesome. I deeply respect the female law tubers that are on I mean, they got families and they do this, and this is almost a full-time job. You got kids on top of it, forget it. Full-time. So, thank you, Donkey. Thank you, Buzz. We're gonna see you guys tomorrow, though. Yeah. I told Melanie she can use my stream whenever I'm outside of court. That stuff, I told she can watch it. Like, she can use it on her stream because I respect her. I respect Melanie like that. And yeah, absolutely. So, we try and send people back and forth because we all kind of have the same people, like you guys, you know, and we're very appreciative of every single person that watches. That's the thing too. Like, how do you say thank you a zillion times to every single person that's watching? Because, you know, it means that much. So, yeah, it's a pretty good day. See what happens. It can only get better, right? It can only get better. I know there's a bunch of traffic in front of me. I'm not sure you want to stay on and listen to me babble. I wonder if I can use Google. No, I can't. Damn it. Well, I could in traffic, but maybe not. Alrighty. Oh, it's been a day, everybody. Definitely been a day. You guys don't need to see this traffic. It's hideous. You know, it's bad. Like, it's stopped completely. I don't think I can see this. It's bad. Yeah, the scenery ain't bad. It usually gets better as the night goes on. Yep. Thank you, Inland Men. I just really hoped you guys could hear it. I was kind of shoving the phone in front of somebody's face, but I don't know. I was hoping the microphone worked good. So, my pleasure. Listen, thank you guys for being there. I mean, it's you guys that's the reason that we do this, right? So, all right, everybody. We're going to call it a day. It's been almost 3 hours. This is a good little stream right there. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you for Melanie for sending everybody over. Please repay the love. Please like and subscribe to Melanie's channel. That all helps all YouTubers. All that like and subscribe stuff. It really does help us. Yeah. It helps a lot. So, yeah. All right, everybody. Listen, you all have a wonderful day. Be safe, everybody. And we will see you guys in the morning. Get some rest. Bye.
Cold mornings, cracked pavement, courthouse steps. He's there before sunrise while the world still rests. No cameras needed, no spotlight glare. Just a man with a purpose always standing there, facing the crowd, but the fight in his veins, truth in his hands, pushing through the rain. Karen sees him, she knows what it means when you've got boots on the ground and you fight for your dreams. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no glory, just a promise kept. Tom CPU, you never left. He don't ask for credit, don't ask for praise, just fight in the good fight in 1,000 ways. When the cameras fade and the voices die, he's still right there, never asking why. He's got a handshake that you can trust, eyes that don't blink when it comes to us. Karen smiles because she knows it's true. She's got a soldier and his name's CPU. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no glory, just a promise kept. Tom CPU, you never left. When the courthouse is empty and the crowd's gone home, Tom's still walking, he's never alone. 1,000 steps, a million prayers, because justice don't sleep and neither does he care.